Let me stop the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Hi friends, good evening. In this Azure Databricks Master Program, this is our 10th session. In this 10th session, we are going to see Azure Databricks Variables, Widget Types, Databricks Notebook Parameters. By using widgets, you are going to receive a dynamic parameters to your notebooks. Once you receive those dynamic values, these values you need to assign to a variables. So we are going to see how you can assign the widget parameter values to the variables, how to create widgets, how to get the values from the widget, and how you can remove the widget, and how you are using these particular dynamic parameters in the notebook. So these are the things we are going to focus today. So what we will learn? We will learn what is widget and types. Next, how to create widget to pass dynamic values to Python notebook, how to read dynamic parameter values in Python notebook, how to remove widget from Python notebook. So this is the series, right? So first you will create a widget and you will pass some value. Once you pass it, that value I need to read it. Once I read that value, I will assign to a variable. Okay. Later, after some time, I realize that this widget is no longer required for me. Then you can remove that widget. So we will see how you can do all these things in Python. Now, along with Python, I also wanted to show you in Scala. So create widget, how you can create widget in Scala, how you can read the dynamic parameter, which is assigned to a Scala, which is assigned to a widget in Scala. Then how you can remove the widget from Scala notebook. Okay, so these are the things we will learn next. What happens is we will have some kind of a widget settings. Okay, what this widget setting is going to do is this widget panel setting has three options. One option is whenever you change a parameter value, notebook, none of the cells in notebook is going to execute. That is the first option. Second option is whenever you change the parameter value, wherever in whatever cells you are using this particular parameter, only those cells will execute. That is second option. Third option is whenever you change a parameter value, entire notebook will execute. Doesn't matter where you are using this parameter, but it will execute entire notebook. So we are going to see widget panel settings as well. So these are the things we are going to learn. Let's see now what is widget and types. So widget is the API. Okay, input widgets allow you to add parameters to your notebooks and dashboard. Okay, the widget API consists of calls to create various types of input widgets. And once you don't want these widgets, you can remove them. And once you assign some values to these widgets, you can get those bound values. You can get those values. So in which cases you are going to use these widgets? There are two cases mainly. Build a notebook or dashboard that is re-executed with different parameters. Okay. Example. So let's imagine we have different paths. Okay. Same file is available in two different paths, but you want to see whether two files are same or not. How you will check is first you pass first path and check the number of records. Then you just change the parameter value, meaning you just change the path of that particular file. Okay, now what happens? You are going to check the second file, the number of records in second file. So if the both are matching, you can say it is a same file. So in these are the one of the use case, right? So you can pass a different parameters and you can execute your notebook. In the same way, you have a SQL query. Okay, for that particular SQL query, you want to pass dynamically, you want to pass values dynamically. First time I want to pass a US and I want to filter out the US customers data. Next, I want to pass India, then I need to filter out India customers data, something like that. You need to pass a different values to your widget to see a different result in the query results. Okay. Now, so what are the different types of widgets we have? So there are four types of widgets mainly. One is text. Text is nothing but a. So if you want to have single value, doesn't matter whether you have how many values we have. I don't want. So you want to pass single value, then you have to select a text. Drop down means we have some list of values. So the value can be anything from the list. Then you have to go for drop down and combo box. But in both the drop down and combo box, it will have a list of values, not single value. But when you are creating drop down and combo box, you need to give the default value plus list of values. Now drop down, whatever default value you have, this default value must be there in the list. Okay, if you're not able to understand at this point in time, you will be able to understand once I show you the queries. Next, in combo box, whatever default value you have, this default value you no need to be there in a it no need to be there in a that list of values. Okay, next, multi-select is nothing but you have list of values, but from the list of values you are not taking single value, you are taking multiple values, maybe more than one result, maybe more than one value you are selecting from the list. Okay, clear? Any doubts in this particular slide, friends? Any doubts in this particular slide? Okay, thank you. Then let's move on. So how to create widgets to pass dynamic parameter values to Python notebook? You can see, so this is the way you need to create a text widget. Okay, dbutils.widgets.text source path. So you can pass the source path. So then you can read that source path value to use it in your notebook. Next, this is how you need to create the drop down widget. See, with dbutils.widgets.dropdown. So this is the your parameter name. This is the default value and payments, sales, orders, transactions. See, in drop down, this payment value, this is the default value, must be there in this list. See, payments I included in this list. But next, come to combo box. In this combo box, you see here you have a booking. This booking you no need to have in this list. See, in this list we don't have booking value. So that's how that is the main difference between drop down and combo box. But both will have a parameter, default value, and choice. Choice is nothing but list of values. Here also parameter name, default value, and here you will have a choice of values. Next, multi-select, same, you will have a parameter, default value, and multiple values. But when you are selecting these particular values, you need to select multiple values. Here you are going to take a single value at any point in time in drop down, combo box, and text. But in multi-select, you can select more than one value at a time. Clear? So this is in Python. Don't confuse. This is in Python. So you need to focus here. The list in Python is square bracket. If you use square bracket, this is how you are going to create a list in Python. Clear? Any questions here? Okay, thank you. Let's move on. So how to read these values, right? So this is how dbutils.widgets.get. Get is what parameter. So what is the widget name? So widget name is source path. If you give source path, whatever value you have assigned to this particular widget, let's go back and see source path. So here you can see source path. So whatever value you have assigned to this particular widget, that value you are going to read it. Once you read it, you are going to assign to source location. So this is my variable. Okay, to this variable, I am assigning the path which I have received. Next, so there is another function by using this also you can able to read, but this will be deprecated. As of now, it is available, but in the future it will not be available. This is the function get argument and source path. This is the widget name you need to give dbutils.widgets.get argument. Get or get argument, both you can use. Any of this you can use, but get argument will be deprecated in some time. As of now, it is available. Once you read it, you can assign to another variable. So this is how you need to read it in Python. So remember, in get argument, this will be deprecated anyhow. But if it is Python, you no need to pass any extra parameters. Here you just have to pass your widget name to get the value. Okay. Now let me go and show you how you can remove these widgets. See, if I want to remove particular widget, then you have to say dbutils.widgets.remove and widget name. Suppose if I want to remove all the widgets which I have in my notebook, you just have to use dbutils.widgets.remove all. Okay, next. Clear? As of now, clear. So I finished in Python how we can create the widgets, how we can get the value from the widgets, how to remove the widgets. Now I will show you in Scala. Any questions here as of now? Thank you. Let's move on. So you can see how to create widget to pass dynamic values to Scala notebook. So same here. See, there is no difference, same. But from now you will see a difference. See, same here also you have a widget name, you have default value. Here instead of square bracket in Scala you need to use array. Okay, this is the array of values. You have to say array. Okay, remember. Next. So same here also combo box. Here you need to use array. But what is the difference between drop down and the combo box? In drop down, this default value must be there in this array list. But in combo box, this default value you may have, you may not have. That is not mandatory to have in this list. Next. So this is multi-select. Multi-select is exactly same, but here instead of square bracket, you need to use the array function to give all choices. Okay, this is the difference between Python and Scala. Now I'm moving to the next slide. How to read. So you can see in Scala, if you want to define any variable, okay, you need to tell that variable is a mutable or immutable. I just explained you few days back also. Mutable means changeable. If I assign a equal to 10, later I can say a value is not 10, a value is 50. That I can do. Mutable means changeable. Okay, whatever variable you are saying it's a mutable, that variable value you can change at any time. If you are saying particular variable is immutable, example, I say b equal to 30. Now it's a immutable. I'm saying immutable. Then what happens is b equal to 50. I cannot change. B value must be there 30 only always. Okay. How you will tell? If you are using var means mutable. If you are using val, it's a immutable. Var means mutable. You can change the value of this particular variable source location. But this is how I'm going to read it. Okay. First thing is I'm going to read it as this. But why when I am accessing when I am assigning this value to a variable, this variable you have to declare whether it's a mutable or immutable. You need to tell. Next, again mutable or immutable you need to tell. But one extra thing you need to see here, you need to pass a default value for this get argument. You need to pass default value to this get argument. Okay. Next. So now I hope everybody understood the difference. Now click on next one, how to remove. So remove is same in both the cases. Okay, here you just have to pass widget name to remove single widget. If you want to remove all the widgets, we have to use a remove. Okay, now you can see so difference between Scala and Python. Here Scala, as we discussed, it's a var, but you no need to mention whether it's a mutable or immutable object in Python. In the same way here, it's var, because you need to define this particular variable is mutable or immutable. Here you are not mentioning. Along with that, there is a one more change in this. Get argument function is expecting default value. Suppose this particular widget is not defined, then it is going to return a some default value. Okay, meaning when you are not passing any value, the default value it will give it to this particular variable. But in Python, there is no default value concept. And next thing is get argument function will be deprecated from both the languages. Like very soon. Next, so if you want to define a list of values in Scala, you have to say array of 1, 2, 3. Here you need to use square bracket some values like list of values 1, 2, 3, or if you have any names, you can put those names. Okay, understood, friends? Everybody understood these things? Okay, that's all I have. Now we will go and do the practicals. But before I get start with practicals, anybody is having any questions? Okay, let's click on this Chrome. I can say, you can say Databricks community edition login. Click on Databricks community edition login. So it is asking me to log in. So let me log in here for one day. So just log in here. Okay. So first thing that we need to do is we need to create a cluster. As we discussed, we don't have much options in Databricks community cluster. We don't have cluster mode. We cannot select pool here. We cannot configure auto scaling. We have minimal configuration. Let's give the cluster name, select the runtime. Runtime is nothing but a core component that you are installing on your cluster. And termination also you cannot configure it. By default, termination time is 2 hours. Let's click on create cluster. Now what I wanted to do is I already discussed how to import the notebooks. So I already have a two notebooks. One is for Python, one is for Scala. Let me import one by one. First, let me import my Python notebook. Click on here. Let's click on this. Import, browse it. I will go to downloads. Yeah, here you can see this is my Python. Select this Python. Import it. Okay, so as we discussed yesterday, DB utils comments, right? So DB utils dot widgets. On this widgets, I need help. So then you can first let's attach this particular notebook to cluster. Okay, let's wait until cluster is ready. Once cluster is ready, we can just execute one by one cell. Let me just use this shortcut to run this particular command. So once you execute this, what happens is it is going to give you all the options which are available on widgets. All the available options on widgets it will display. Okay, let's wait 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, I will explain you the remaining things. Here you can see to pass single parameter. So this is how you need to define a widget. So once you define widget here, it will open a parameter here. So from here you can able to pass the value. So, okay, next. Now I have passed value to some value to this particular source path. Now I want to access the value which I have assigned to this widget. How you will access is, as I said, there are two ways. One is by using get. Second one is by using get argument, but get argument will be deprecated soon. That's why I'm just introducing both get and get argument. But don't confuse in your project if somebody is using get argument. So that is also work that will work as of now, but in future it may not work. That's why you can suggest them to use the get function. Okay. So, but in both the cases, you will get a same result. Here I am assigning my result to variable called source location. That source location I am displaying here. In the same way, whatever value I am just getting by using get argument function, that value I am assigning to another variable called source location one, and that source location one I am displaying here. Okay. Next, default value should be in the choice list. As we discussed in drop down, this default value must be there in this list. This is the list of values. This default value must be there in this list. Now what happens if you are not maintaining this default value in this list is it will throw exception. Okay, so just when I run entire notebook, I don't want to fail my notebook. That's why I'm handling the exception. So this is how you need to handle the exception in Python. So this is the command you are executing. If at all any exception raised, that will go to this block and it will print exception is raised. Okay, I know it is going to raise the exception. That's why I kept it in a try except block. Next. So whatever value you are selecting from this list of values, or you are just selecting a default value, that selected value I want to read it. How you will read it? Again, you have to use get or get argument. If you use get, you just have to mention this widget name, subject underscore dd, subject underscore dd. So in both the cases, you just have to use widget name. If you use widget name, you can able to read the value which is selected for this particular widget. Okay. That selected value you can assign to these variables, a subject and subject one. Now you can see cluster is up. Let's execute one by one. Waiting to run. Our command is running now. Running command. So you can see all the help. You see a combo box we are going to discuss, right? So we already discussed this combo box and drop down. If you see, the name is same and the default value and choice and label. So if you see, there is no difference if you look at this particular help. In the help, if you look at the help, you will not have any difference. But when you are executing, you will get to know the difference. As I defined the difference is this default value must be there in the list if you are using drop down. If you are using combo box, this default value you no need to have in this list. Okay, I will execute and show you, but let's come from the beginning. So these are the available functions on this particular widget. Combo box, drop down, and get or get argument is just to read the values. Multi-select to select multiple values. Okay. Remove means to remove a single widget. Remove all basically to remove all the widgets. Text is also for like to defining a single to select a single value. Okay, let's create a first widget. I'm just executing this. See, when I execute it, it will open here. See, widget came. This is the widget. For this widget, I'm passing file store / tables. This is my source path example. So now I have passed this value. When I read it, so what value I will get it? You see, I'm getting file store / tables. If I change this value to file store, comma, database table, something like this. If I change this value, now you try to read it, so value will change. See, file store database table. Whatever value we're assigning, that value you can able to read it by using get or get argument. Again, I'm repeating, get argument will be duplicated. That's why I'm introducing get function as well. Yeah. So this is the text. Text widget is clear to all of you. Text widget is clear to all of you, friends. Okay, thank you. Now let's come to drop down. So in drop down, you see, I'm just executing drop down. So you got a subject DD, payments, sales, orders, transactions. So let's select whatever you want to select. I selected orders. Now let's read that particular one. You got orders. Now same by using get argument, I'm reading same value, orders. Okay, fine. Next. So I here the difference here you can see this payment I included in this list, but this payment I'm not included in this list, but I'm trying to execute this particular query. What will happen? You see, exception is raised. Understood, friends? Exception is raised. When exception is going to rise, if something goes wrong here. So if you want to see the error message, you can see here itself exception. Yes, I can print it here. Let's execute it. Oh, sorry. We need to close it. So you can see default value not in choice list. What it is saying, this default value is not available in this choice list, it is saying. Okay, selection sequence must include payments. So this payment must be there in this selection list, it is saying. Selection sequence must be there. This payment must be there in this selection sequence, it is saying. Okay, understood this drop down, friends? When you have multiple tables, if you want to select single table, you can use this kind of a drop down. Now, what is the difference between combo box and the drop down? As I said, here you can see booking. I'm not including this. Okay, you execute it. Travel underscore CV. So travel underscore CV became booking, tracks, and cancel. I want to cancel. I cancel this ticket. Okay. Let's say just check it. Travel underscore CV. What value it is in cancel. Executed this particular thing. You will get same cancel. What you are getting? Yeah, this one I have not executed. Sorry. You can say travel underscore CV. You will get cancelled. Okay. Now you can see travel underscore CV1. What I will do, this particular thing I will include in this choice list. Here I have not included, but here I will include this in my choice list. Execute it. So this will work. Now you try to access travel underscore CB1, travel underscore CB1. In this travel CB1, I will say schedule. If you access this, you will get a schedule. If you access this, you will get a schedule. Okay, clear on this? How I am using this particular combo box? Everybody's clear? Okay. Now, thanks, Abhishek. Here we have a multi-select. Multi-select, you see here in this combo box. CB means combo box. Okay, I used two CBs because one is I included default value in the list. One is I have not included default value in the list. You see here I have included booking default value in the list, but here I don't have booking because I have not included default value in the list. But combo box is working. But drop down will not work if you're not including. That's why I included payments. But in all these cases, you can select only single value. See, only single value you can able to select it. But now, if you come here and if you execute this multi-select, okay, multi-select, you see in multi-select, where is multi-select? Columns here you can see. You can select train table, train name, train table, or train table. It's basically train date. Okay, maybe like some kind of a date. Okay, on what date this particular train is going to travel, something like this. Train name and train table. I just selected two values. Now when I'm reading, you see how it will look like. So it is going to give you two values. Okay, execute it here. You will see it is going to give you two values. Okay, next. So example, if I want to remove single widget, example, I want to remove columns. See this particular widget I want to remove, then you can execute it. See that is gone. That columns widget is gone. If I execute this remove all, it is going to remove all the widgets. Okay, clear? So this is how you need to execute in your Python. Okay, I will share this notebook with you, don't worry. Next, now I want to import my Scala notebook. Let's click on this, click import, click browse, and say here Scala, click open, and say import. So this is Scala. You can see notebook is Scala notebook. So same this widget, I need help on this particular widget. What all things are available? I want to see. You can execute this to see all the help, all the things that you can do by using this widget. You can see same combo box, drop down, get argument, and multi-select, remove all, and text. We have all the things which we have seen. So this is the normal text. So same thing how we have seen in our Python. See when you execute this, it is asking you to select something. Let's say I select file store / tables. You can read this particular value, but you need to notice here when I'm assigning this particular widget parameter value to this variable I am saying where means it's a mutable. You can able to assign new value to this source location. Okay, it can be changeable. Where means it can be changeable. It's a mutable. Execute this and see what is the value. It is giving this the value file store / tables. Next, let me execute this. So this get argument also will give same. You can see file store / tables, but it is going to give you some information saying that method get argument is in trait widget utils is deprecated. It is already, it's a warning, not a error. Okay, this is the get argument. It's highlighting. This is the get argument. It is going to deprecate. Next, come to drop down and execute it. So again same, this particular default value must be there in this array. So here you see I have not used square bracket. Instead of that I have used array of. Okay, here I will select something orders. So when I select orders, when you try to access the subject underscore dd, see orders came. Okay, again let's execute by using get argument, you will get orders. But again it is giving the warning. What warning it is saying? If this function is deprecated. Now, so this particular payment I have not included in this particular array list. Now what happens? Again, exception will come. That exception I'm catching in catch block. Now you see what will happen. See, exception is raised. Okay. Now, so in combo box, you see combo box. Here I'm not including this particular value in the array list. You can just select a track to try to access this track value. Rather, just to execute this, you can see it's a like empty. Why it's empty? Because it's a travel CB1. It should be travel CB, then you'll get some value. That is our track. You are getting track, but it is again warning. It is given. Now I will go and I will do with travel underscore CB1 widget. So this particular value I will include in this particular array. Just execute it, it will work. The travel underscore CB1 is ready. Now you can say schedule here. Now when you try to get the value, what value you'll get it? You'll get a schedule value. See, you are getting schedule value. If you put it, you will get a schedule value. Okay, but it is warning again. Now, so multi-select. So let's execute this. But here you need to understand this is also array, not a square bracket, because it's a Scala. Now multi-select columns came. You can select multiple values. Let's say I want to know only source and destination. You can select those two things. When you access these columns, you will get source and destination. Okay. See, train source and train destination. In the same way here also, train source and train destination. Okay. So once we have variable ready, you can use this variable for your analysis. Now I want to remove a single widget. Then you can just remove it. Columns. I'm just removing columns. Columns is gone. Now if I want to remove all the widgets, remove all. Okay. So this is how you need to do it in Scala and Python. Now we need to understand one more thing, that is, let's say, so as I said, right, so let's say this is the my widget. Okay. For this particular widget, now you need to understand one more thing. See, for this particular widget, I'm saying file store slash tables. See, now if I take my cursor to out of this particular box, and if I click anywhere, immediately these two cells will execute, because the default setting is wherever this widget is accessed, those cells will get executed. Now you see, if I click here, see, cell is executed, this cell is also executed, waiting to run, both executed, but remaining cells will not execute. You can see the difference, time difference, 9439, 9439, but other cells got executed 9404. You can see here 957 seconds, 9143. Okay, only the wherever you are using this particular source path widget name, those cells will execute by default. Now if I change again value to tables, and if I click here, again it will execute. See, executed. If I change again value to something slash, if I add here, so again it will execute. Meaning whenever you change some value here, immediately access and the cells will execute. Now I want to change the default behavior. Just click on this. This is the widget panel list, panel settings. Okay. Now you can see run accessed commands. So what is the default setting? Run accessed command. Now I want to do nothing. Do nothing. I don't want to do anything. Then what is going to happen? I don't want to do anything means what is going to happen? So if I change this value, doesn't matter tables or files slash, if you give anything, nothing is going to happen. If you give anything, nothing is going to happen. Okay. Now what I will do is I will change settings to run notebook. Whenever I change some value, entire notebook should execute. See, now I will change this and click somewhere outside here. See, now entire notebook running command 1, 3, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So all cells executed. And now you want to see again, do one thing, just like let's put don't remove any of the widget. Let's create some widget manually. Okay, now I'm going to give some value here. Okay, tables. See, now I'm just executing it. That's all. All the commands will execute and all the widgets will open on top. Okay. Now you can change value of any. Let me just let's say I want to like, yeah, you can keep anything. See again, some change happened. Immediately it will execute something. Now, not with code friends. Remember, not with code. Now I will make change again in this some notebook. Anything, not in any widget. If you make change immediately, this entire notebook will execute. See, if you make anything, just let's say now I will say track. See, column came and the column will delete immediately because I removed column. So I'm removing widget column. So understood the widget panel settings. There are 3 widget panel settings. Those are you can see here. So first is run notebook. Run notebook means if you make any widget value or if you modify any widget value, immediately entire notebook will execute. You don't need to click on any other option. Automatically entire notebook will execute. Run access the command. What it means is it like when you make a change in particular widget, wherever whatever cells are reading this particular widget, all those cells will get executed. Do nothing means on changes or on modification of any widget value. So nothing is going to happen in your notebook, whether it is Scala or Python, doesn't matter. In all the things, same settings. Let me show you in Python as well. Come to Python here. Here you can see if you want to see, let's click on text. Okay, here let's say by default it will be there with access, right? So I'm just clicking outside, you see running. These 2 commands executing because this particular widget parameter is accessible in these 2 cells. Now let's click on this to change the default behavior to run notebook. Okay, now you see just to put slash and click here, enter notebook, running command 1, quickly it went to 8 and everything is executed. Everything is executed and deleted. Now again, let me just create this. I'll just add some parameter file store and execute it. See all all widgets came on top, right? Able to observe, friends? All widgets came and as we are deleting everything, like remove all command we are using, that's why everything, all widgets are getting deleted. So let's say now I don't want to remove all the cells. Let's comment this. Sorry. Let's comment this. And now I want to change the widget value. So click on this, execute it now. Just put cursor somewhere outside. Now you see all these widgets are ready. Why? Because when you make any change, immediately enter notebook will execute. That is it. Now if you don't want to do anything, do nothing, then you make any change, nothing is going to happen. Okay. So with settings, widget panel settings are same in any language, like in any notebook. Okay. Any questions we have? Any questions? If no questions, then that's all for today. Thank you.